In the heart of Atlanta's hottest drama, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta just exploded into total chaos, and Yandy Smith is left sobbing in the middle of it all. Picture this: cameras rolling, tension thicker than Atlanta traffic. When Rasheeda Frost drops the most savage shade the show has ever seen, leaning in with that signature side-eye, Rasheeda sneers straight at Yandy's curves and hisses, "Girl, that BBL, it smells like it's rotting from the inside out." The words hit like a slap. Yandy's face crumples on camera, mascara streaming down her cheeks as she clutches her chest, gasping for air between ugly sobs. "How could you say that to me?" she wails, voice cracking. "After everything we've been through, you're supposed to be family." But Rasheeda doesn't flinch. She just folds her arms, lips curled in disgust, and doubles down. "I said what I said. It smells, Yandy. Fix it or stay away from me." The room freezes. Kirk Frost's jaw drops. Mendices looks like he wants to vanish into the floor. Even the producers are whispering behind the cameras because this isn't just shade, this is nuclear. Within minutes, that "it smells" clip detonates across the internet. Twitter is on fire. Instagram reels are blowing up with slow-motion replays of Yandy's breakdown. Fans are split down the middle, some screaming Rasheeda went too far, while others are cackling, "Finally someone said it." But here's where it gets darker. Insiders are already leaking that this isn't random. Old beef, hidden jealousy over money, men, and who's really the queen of Atlanta is bubbling back up. Yandy's crying in the confessional now, whispering through tears, "She just destroyed me." And the whole world is watching. What started as a simple girls' night has turned into the most vicious takedown in love and hip-hop history, and baby, this fire is just getting started. The moment those deadly words left Rasheeda Frost's mouth, the entire room went dead. Silent, you could hear a pin drop on the explosive set of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Yandy Smith's eyes widened in complete and utter shock before her entire face crumbled right in front of the cameras. She tried so hard to hold it together, but the tears came rushing down like a waterfall. Yandy broke down, completely clutching her chest as heavy, painful sobs escaped her lips. "How could you say that to me, Rasheeda?" she cried out, her voice shaking with raw emotion and deep hurt. "After everything we've been through, you know how much I've struggled and worked on myself, and you just attack my body like that. It smells. What kind of evil, disgusting comment is that?" Rasheeda sat back, folding her arms with zero remorse showing on her face. "Girl, I said what I said, and I meant every word," she fired back coldly. "That BBL of yours looks and smells like straight trouble, and trust me, I'm not the only one who has noticed it." The tension in the room became so thick you could cut it with a knife. This wasn't regular shade, this was a vicious, brutal takedown, and every single person there felt the impact. Kirk Frost sat there looking extremely uncomfortable, shifting around in his seat, while Mendices tried to play peacemaker, but even he couldn't find the right words. This fight had escalated way too fast before anyone could even process what just happened. Someone from the production team leaked the full clip, and it exploded across social media like a nuclear bomb. The "it smells" comment went insanely viral on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and every other platform. Fans of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta were completely losing their minds. The internet was divided right down the middle. Some people rushed to defend Yandy, screaming that Rasheeda went way too far and this was nothing but body shaming at its worst, while others were agreeing with Rasheeda, saying finally someone had the guts to tell the truth, and that the truth hurts. The comment sections were flooded with thousands of laughing emojis, memes, and long essays about plastic surgery regrets. Yandy Smith is now trending worldwide, but for all the wrong reasons. Her name is attached to one of the most savage reads in reality TV history. Back inside the confessional room, Yandy could not stop crying. Her makeup was completely ruined, with black mascara streaks running down her cheeks. "I can't believe Rasheeda would do me dirty like this," she said through broken tears, her voice cracking with pain. "We've had our ups and downs, but this is way below the belt. She attacked my looks, my body, my confidence, and everything I've built over the years." Yandy took a deep, shaky breath, trying to gather herself, but the humiliation was still too fresh and too raw. "I feel so completely destroyed and embarrassed. The whole world is now watching me get dragged and humiliated like this, and it hurts more than anyone can imagine." Meanwhile, Rasheeda was sitting in her own confessional, looking calm, cool, and totally unapologetic. "Look, I'm not here to hold anybody's hand or sugarcoat anything," she stated firmly. "If something smells bad, I'm going to call it out, and I'm tired of these fake friendships floating around on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta." Yandy walks around like she's better than everybody else, but her new body is telling a completely different story, and I have no problem being the one to say it out loud. Fans are absolutely shocked because this level of raw brutal honesty has almost never been seen on the show before. But people close to the cast are already whispering that this beef didn't start tonight, it has been simmering for a very long time. According to insiders, Rasheeda has been quietly jealous of Yandy's growing business empire, her successful clothing line, her seemingly perfect family life, and even the strong relationship she has with Mendice's. Sources claim Rasheeda felt Yandy was receiving way too much spotlight lately, and this BBL, "it smells" comment was her calculated way of cutting Yandy back down to size. But for Yandy, this attack hit on a very personal and painful level. She has always been open and honest about her journey with body image, self-love, and the changes she went through after having her children. Rasheeda just ripped open that old wound in the most public and humiliating way possible. As the night continued to spiral, Yandy picked up her phone and called her closest friends. Still crying hysterically, one of her inner circle reportedly told her, "Girl, you better clap back and clap back hard, because this kind of disrespect cannot slide." The entire cast and their families are now divided. Some are taking Yandy's side, feeling she was unfairly victimized and body shamed, while others believe Rasheeda might have had a valid point and it was time for some real raw talk. In the group, emotions were running extremely high, accusations started flying in every direction, and loyalties were being tested like never before. Yandy later pulled Rasheeda aside for another confrontation. "You really think my body smells?" she asked, her voice full of pain, disbelief, and anger. Rasheeda didn't even blink when she replied, "I'm just keeping it real, sis. Maybe you should go get that thing checked out, or something." That cold response sent Yandy spiraling into another wave of heavy tears. The drama showed no signs of slowing down because as the clip racked up millions of views within hours, big-name celebrities from the entertainment world started chiming in. Some expressed genuine shock at how vicious and personal the comment was, while others chose to stay silent, not wanting to get dragged into the middle of this Atlanta mess. But the regular fans on the internet had absolutely no chill at all. Memes were being created left and right, showing Yandy's crying face with savage captions like, "When your BBL gets read to filth, the love and hip hop." Atlanta fandom was now split straight down the middle, creating even more gasoline to pour on this already raging fire. Yandy eventually made it home that same night, still visibly shaken and broken. She sat down with Mendice's and poured her entire heart out through fresh tears. "I feel like she just destroyed my entire reputation," she told him, sobbing loudly. "I work so damn hard to be a positive role model for Black women and young girls everywhere, and now this is all people are going to remember me for. The it smells." Girl, Mendice's tried his best to console her and calm her down, but deep down even he understood that this situation was going to turn into a long and ugly battle. The personal stakes for Yandy were incredibly high, not just her public image but all of her brand deals, her multiple businesses, and most importantly her inner peace, were now hanging in the balance, all because of one single brutal sentence from someone she once considered close. This one moment has completely shaken the foundation of the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast. Friendships that seemed solid are now being severely tested. Old secrets are threatening to come out, and the drama is only beginning to unfold. Nobody knows exactly how this war is going to end, but one thing has become crystal clear: Yandy Smith is not about to let this vicious attack slide without fighting back hard, and Rasheeda Frost appears more than prepared for whatever comes her way next. The next morning, the internet was still in absolute meltdown mode over the explosive "it smells" comment from Rasheeda Frost. Yandy Smith woke up to thousands of notifications blowing up her phone with people tagging her in memes, videos, and hot takes. Some were supportive, sending her love and encouragement, while others were downright cruel, laughing at her pain and calling her all kinds of names. The pressure was mounting fast, and Yandy could barely breathe through the anxiety. She sat in her luxurious Atlanta home staring at her reflection in the mirror with fresh tears welling up in her eyes. "How did things get this bad?" she whispered to herself, feeling completely defeated and exposed. Mendice walked into the room and wrapped his arms around her, trying to offer comfort. But even he looked worried. "Baby, you know how this industry works," he said softly. "People love to tear each other down for views and clicks, but you are stronger than this." Yandy pulled away slightly, still sniffling. "I know, but this one feels different," she replied, her voice trembling. "Rasheeda didn't just shade me, she tried to humiliate me in front of the entire world, and now every single person with a phone is talking about whether my body smells or not. It's degrading, and it's hurtful. I never expected this level of betrayal from her." Word quickly spread through the cast that another emergency group meeting had been called to address the growing drama. The producers were thrilled because ratings were already skyrocketing from the leaked clip. Everyone showed up at the neutral location with heavy tension hanging in the air like a storm cloud about to burst. Rasheeda arrived looking flawless and unbothered as if she hadn't just caused one of the biggest scandals in the show's history. She greeted a few people with hugs, but when she saw Yandy, her expression turned ice cold. Yandy, on the other hand, walked in with puffy eyes from crying all night. Her posture showed clear signs of emotional exhaustion, but there was also a spark of anger building inside her. As soon as the cameras started rolling, the arguments erupted like wildfire. "You really had to go there, Rasheeda," Yandy shouted, her voice rising with every word. "You attacked my body, my surgery, my confidence, everything. I've worked so hard to rebuild after having my kids, and you did it in the most public and nasty way possible." Rasheeda rolled her eyes and fired right back. "Girl, please stop playing the victim card. I was just being honest, something you and half these girls on this show never are. Your BBL looks off and it smells like cheap work, gone wrong. I'm not the only one thinking it, just the only one brave enough to say it out loud." The room exploded with gasps and murmurs from the rest of the cast. Kirk Frost tried to step in as a voice of reason, but his attempts fell flat. "Everybody calm down," he said, raising his hands. "This is getting way too heated." Rasheeda cut him off immediately. "Kirk, stay out of this. This is between me and Yandy. She has been walking around like she's untouchable, and I'm sick of the fake energy." The betrayal felt even deeper now because these women had shared so many intimate moments together on the show, over the years, laughing, crying, and supporting each other through real-life struggles, only for it to crumble over one savage comment about plastic surgery. Yandy's closest friend on the cast stepped up in her defense. "You went too far, Rasheeda," she snapped, pointing a finger. "This isn't keeping it real. This is straight-up bullying and body-shaming. Yandy has been nothing but supportive to you in the past, and this is how you repay her, by dragging her in front of millions." Rasheeda laughed bitterly in response. "Supportive, really, because last season, she was throwing subtle jabs at my marriage and my business moves. Don't act like y'all are innocent either." The accusations started flying left and right, revealing layers of hidden resentment that had been building up for seasons. The family was now completely divided, with some siding with Yandy, feeling she was the clear victim, and others backing Rasheeda, claiming she was simply telling uncomfortable truths that nobody else dared to voice. As the argument intensified, Yandy broke down again right there on camera. Her sobs echoed through the room, making the scene even more dramatic and heartbreaking. "I have cried enough tears over this," she said, wiping her face. "I have kids who look up to me, and now they might see their mother being dragged online for something so personal and private. Rasheeda, you have no idea how much this hurts my self-esteem, my brand, and my peace of mind." The emotional conflict was real and raw. Yandy felt her entire identity as a strong, successful Black woman was under attack, while Rasheeda stood firm, believing she was exposing fake perfection in the reality TV world. Unexpected twist came when an old video clip from several seasons ago suddenly resurfaced online. In the clip, Yandy had made a shady comment about Rasheeda's own body changes after pregnancy. Fans immediately dug it up and started comparing the two situations. Now the narrative shifted slightly, with some people saying Rasheeda was justified in her clapback because Yandy had dished out similar energy before. The internet loved this new layer of drama, turning it into a full-blown she said situation that kept everyone glued to their screens. Back at the meeting, the producers decided to bring in a mediator to try and cool things down, but it only made matters worse. When the mediator asked Rasheeda if she regretted her words, she replied without hesitation, "Not at all. I stand by every single thing I said. If Yandy wants to fix her situation, then she should go see a real doctor instead of whoever did that botched work on her." That comment sent Yandy into a full rage. She stood up abruptly, knocking over a glass of water. "You are evil for saying that," she screamed, tears streaming down her face. "Again, I have never been so disrespected in my entire life, on this show or off it." The stakes were getting higher with every passing minute, because both women had major business ventures riding on their public images. Yandy with her clothing line and motivational speaking, and Rasheeda with her music and family brand. Any damage to their reputations could mean lost deals and lost money. Later that evening, Yandy retreated to a private dinner with her inner circle, where she poured out even more of her pain. "They don't understand what it's like," she told her friends, while sipping wine through tears, "to have the whole world judging your body and your choices, especially when you've already overcome so much in life." The conversation turned deep as they discussed the pressures of being in the spotlight, the constant scrutiny over appearance, and how women in entertainment are often pitted against each other for entertainment value. One friend suggested Yandy do a live stream to address the situation directly, but Yandy hesitated, saying she needed time to heal first before facing the cameras again on the other side of town. Rasheeda was celebrating with her own group of supporters at a low-key lounge. She raised a glass to keeping it real, she said with a smirk. Some of these girls need to hear the truth, even if it burns a little. The divide in the cast grew wider as text messages flew back and forth between members, some trying to broker peace, while others were fanning the flames with more gossip and leaked stories. Insiders revealed that this beef might be connected to bigger issues, like who would get the bigger storyline next season or who is getting more brand sponsorships. The personal stakes were enormous for everyone involved. Careers, families, and legacies were all on the line. As night fell, the drama took yet another shocking turn when a mysterious anonymous account posted alleged before and after photos of Yandy's BBL journey, along with sarcastic captions about the smell factor. The post went mega viral within minutes, causing Yandy to break down once more when she saw it. "This feels like a coordinated attack," she cried to Mendices on the phone. "I don't know who is behind this, but it's destroying me piece by piece." The emotional toll was becoming unbearable, and fans could see it in every new clip that leaked out. Emotions ran extremely high across the entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta community, with petitions starting online demanding the show address the body-shaming issue properly. The following day brought even more chaos when Rasheeda posted a cryptic Instagram story with a screenshot of the viral clip and the caption, "Truth hurts, doesn't it?" The post received mixed reactions. Some fans praised her for being authentic, while others called her out for being unnecessarily cruel. Yandy responded by sharing a heartfelt black and white photo of herself with her children, captioned, "Protecting my peace and my legacy no matter what." The battle lines were clearly drawn, and the war between these two powerful women showed no signs of ending any time soon. The entire cast was now caught in the crossfire, watching their friendships fracture under the weight of public opinion and private grudges. Yandy decided to seek professional help to deal with the intense emotional trauma. She scheduled an emergency session with her therapist where she unpacked years of insecurities about her body image and how this one comment had triggered everything. "I thought I had healed from all of this," she told the therapist through tears, "but Rasheeda just reopened every wound and made it 10 times worse." The therapist encouraged her to focus on self-love and not let external opinions define her worth, but deep down Yandy knew the road to recovery would be long and difficult, especially with the internet still buzzing nonstop about the incident. Meanwhile, Rasheeda faced her own backlash when several prominent body advocates spoke out against her comments, calling them harmful and irresponsible. One influencer even started a trending hashtag demanding Rasheeda apologize publicly. The pressure was now mounting on both sides, creating a perfect storm of drama that kept Love and Hip Hop Atlanta trending for days on end. The unexpected twists kept coming as more old interviews and subtle digs between the two women were unearthed by eagle-eyed fans, proving that this rivalry had much deeper roots than anyone initially thought. The family was left divided, the friends were choosing sides, and the fans were more engaged than ever before. This wasn't just another fight on reality TV, this was a full-scale emotional explosion that threatened to change the dynamics of the entire show forever. Yandy eventually gathered enough strength to film a solo confessional addressing the situation directly. "I'm hurt, I'm angry, and I'm disappointed," she said, looking straight into the camera. "But I refuse to let this break me. Rasheeda may have thrown the first punch, but I will not go down without a fight." The resilience in her voice showed that despite all the tears and pain, she was ready to stand tall. Once again, the main body of this explosive storyline was far from over, with more confrontations, more revelations, and more heartbreak still waiting just around the corner in the fiery world of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where one comment about a BBL smelling had set the entire city ablaze with drama, betrayal, and unending suspense. The drama refused to die down, even after days had passed since that brutal "It smells" comment from Rasheeda Frost. The entire Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast found themselves trapped in a whirlwind of accusations, betrayals, and shifting alliances that nobody saw coming. Yandy Smith spent the next 48 hours locked inside her home, avoiding all calls from production, and barely eating as she replayed the moment over and over in her mind. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard Rasheeda's cold voice saying those words again, and the pain hit her like a fresh wound. She cried so much that her eyes stayed swollen and red. Mendices tried everything to lift her spirits, bringing her favorite meals and reminding her of all the success she had built, but Yandy kept whispering the same thing over and over: "She destroyed me in front of the whole world. How do I come back from this?" On the third day, Yandy finally agreed to meet with a few trusted cast members at a private upscale restaurant in Buckhead, hoping for support. What she walked into instead was another layer of shocking betrayal. One of the women who had defended her during the initial fight suddenly switched sides. Mid-conversation Rasheeda did have a point about being honest, she said casually while sipping her drink. Maybe we all need to stop pretending everything is perfect. Yandy felt her stomach drop. The table went silent as she stared in disbelief. You were just writing for me 2 days ago, she said, her voice rising with fresh hurt. Now you're flipping because the internet is dragging me too. This is exactly why I don't trust anybody in this circle. The friend tried to backtrack, but the damage was done. Another friendship cracked right before the cameras even started rolling. Again, emotions ran extremely high, and Yandy left the restaurant in tears. Once more feeling more isolated than ever, Rasheeda, on the other hand, was riding high on the wave of attention. Her phone was blowing up with interview requests and brand offers from people who loved her no-filter attitude. She sat down for a solo interview with a popular podcast host and doubled down even harder. I don't regret a single word, she said confidently, laughing a little. If your surgery smells bad, I'm gonna say it smells bad, period. Yandy has been living in this fantasy where everybody kisses her behind, but I'm from the streets of Atlanta and we keep it real over here. The podcast clips spread like wildfire, and soon Rasheeda was being called the new queen of keeping it real by a large section of the fanbase. Some even started online campaigns urging her to start her own spin-off show. The support gave Rasheeda a huge confidence boost, but behind closed doors, sources close to her admitted she was starting to feel the heat from industry executives who worried the comment might scare away certain sponsors. The real twist nobody expected came when Kirk Frost decided to insert himself deeper into the mess during a late-night group dinner that production set up to force more drama. Kirk pulled Yandy aside and whispered something that left her completely stunned. I heard Rasheeda has been talking behind your back for months, he said, looking around to make sure nobody was listening. She told me your whole image is fake and that your BBL was the final nail in the coffin for your credibility. Yandy gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. Are you serious? Right now, she asked, her eyes filling with tears again. Kirk nodded solemnly. I'm just trying to look out for you, sis, but you deserve to know the truth. This revelation hit Yandy like a truck because Kirk had always played the neutral big brother role on the show. Now, he was dropping bombs that suggested Rasheeda had been plotting for a long time. The betrayal felt even deeper and more calculated when Yandy confronted Rasheeda about it the next day on camera. The argument reached nuclear levels. You've been talking trash about me for months, Yandy screamed, pointing her finger directly in Rasheeda's face, while Kirk sits here telling me everything. Rasheeda laughed in her face and clapped back instantly. Girl, Kirk will say anything to stay relevant. Don't drag him into this mess. If you want to fight, fight me directly, but leave my husband out of it. The two women went back and forth for almost 20 minutes with insults flying faster than anyone could keep up. Rasheeda accused Yandy of using her kids for sympathy clout, while Yandy fired back, calling Rasheeda a jealous has-been who couldn't handle another woman. Shining brighter, the rest of the cast sat there in shock, watching the once close group completely fall apart. Right before their eyes, the family was left divided, with some members quietly siding with Yandy, and others secretly texting Rasheeda their support. As the week progressed, the It Smells drama between Yandy Smith and Rasheeda Frost spilled from the screen into their personal lives. Yandy's children started asking questions after seeing clips at school and online. Fighting back tears, she had to sit them down and gently explain that sometimes grown-ups say mean things when they're unhappy. Inside, she was breaking, terrified. That one comment could scar her kids' mental health for years. Mendeces grew increasingly protective and hinted at legal action, but Yandy begged him to stay calm, insisting she wanted to handle it her way on the show and her own platform. Her reputation, family peace, and hard-earned empire now hung by a thread. Rasheeda faced pressure from her own relatives, who warned that the comment made her look like a bully and could damage her long-term brand. She defended herself fiercely, saying she was tired of fake bodies and fake friendships in the industry. However, an old audio clip leaked online showing Rasheeda making similar comments about another cast member's surgery years earlier. Fans quickly labeled her a hypocrite, and the narrative began shifting against her too. Sensing a ratings goldmine, production fast-tracked a full cast reunion. The tension was electric. Yandy spent days preparing talking points and practicing with her therapist, determined not to cry this time. Rasheeda, on the other hand, fully embraced the villain role, posting cryptic messages and teasing a new diss track. On reunion day, the two women sat directly across from each other. The host replayed the It Smells clip, and the audience gasped. Yandy, voice shaking with emotion, called the comment degrading and unnecessary, especially coming from someone who claims to support women's empowerment. Rasheeda fired back without hesitation. If it smells, it smells. I'm not about to gaslight people. The back and forth turned explosive as old secrets and past season drama surfaced. Chaos erupted when a cast member revealed Yandy had once privately complained about Rasheeda's post-baby body, complete with text proof. Yandy broke down in tears, admitting she had vented in frustration. Security had to intervene twice to prevent things from turning physical. Backstage, their final private conversation ended without hugs or peace. "I never thought you'd go this low," Yandy said. Rasheeda replied, "Maybe now you'll understand nobody is untouchable." In the weeks that followed, Yandy launched a social media campaign promoting self-love and body positivity, gaining support from activists and fans. Rasheeda dropped a new track with thinly veiled shots at Yandy, which quickly climbed the charts. Both women continued fighting for relevance, Yandy through empowerment and resilience, Rasheeda through unapologetic honesty. The beef has now divided families, shattered friendships, and split fans. While Yandy turns her pain into power, Rasheeda stands firm in her keep it real stance, even as brand deals pause and backlash grows. Was Rasheeda too harsh with the savage BBL shade, or was she just keeping it real? Is this drama deeper than one comment, or is it all for the cameras? Team Yandy or Team Rasheeda? Drop your hot takes below.